Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to continue our design pattern series, and today we are going to study about the prototype design pattern. So as the name suggests, prototype, it means that we are going to make the copy of the object. So now let's move to our notepad and let's understand it. So again, we are going to understand this concept with the help of a story. That again, that what happened, the customer comes and gives an order. After that, customer gave an order for a meal. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a meal object, and the name of that meal object is, let's say, meal 1. We have created this object. In this meal object, what is going to happen, we are going to give fries, pizza and coke. This is something that we are going to give. After that, what is going to happen is that user customer says that I want to repeat my order. To do this thing into a code, that if we want to repeat the order, the first way is going to be to make that order one more time from scratch. Let's say if I make the class, let's say if there is a meal 1 equals to pizza, coke, and let's say pizza, coke and burger. So we can make again meal 2 equals to pizza, coke. This is the thing that we can do. We can make this meal 2 from scratch. This is the first thing we can do with the help of the repetition. There can be a better alternative, that is if we copy that code. How we are going to copy it? We can copy it with the help of this copy function. What we are going to do? We will spend our resources in making the first object. Let's say meal 1 equals to again pizza, coke, burger, and meal 2 is going to be meal 1 dot copy. So this is how we are going to make the meal 2, and that is going to be very fast. Right now you're thinking that it's very small, pizza, coke and burger, like we can make it one more time, but think of it that you are going to have very complex and big objects. At that time, prototype pattern is going to be a savior. He's going to save a lot of time when you have to make a copy of an object. So let's move to our IntelliJ and let's understand it with the help of the code. First of all, we are going to see a bad code, and then we are going to see a good code. So here we are going to see a bad code. So customer gives an order of a meal order. So what we are going to do, we have created this object meal. Meal 1 equals to new meal, pizza, coke and extra cheese. And now he says that I want to repeat that order. In that case, what we did, we have created this meal 2, pizza, coke and extra cheese. Meal 1 dot show meal 2, it is just printing like what we have just ordered. If I go to this meal class, here you will see that we have food, drink and extra cheese. We are just making the constructor and we are showing the meal. Nothing special. We just copy pasted it this line. I just copy paste this line number 17 after line number 15 because he want to repeat that order. But this is not the right way to do it. Now let's see the right way in a good code. In this restaurant class, as you can see that I'm using this line meal1.clone. What is that? So let's say, suppose first of all what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a meal that is pizza, coke and true. So this is my first meal line. I think this is pretty clear. We are going to make it with the help of a constructor. So let's go to this meal class. And here the important part is that we are going to implement this clonable. So clonable is an interface in Java that provides you with a copy function, and that copy function is going to make a copy of the same object. So if I go to this restaurant class, it will going to provide you this clone function, and in the meal class what we are going to do, we are going to override this function. When we override this function, here what we are going to do, in the clone function we are going to return a new meal object. In the new meal, food, drink and the extra cheese. So this is the same food, drink and extra cheese that was passed in the meal 1, and we passed into that clone function, and we are going to make a copy of it. We are going to make a new object. So that is what is happening in this line, meal1 dot clone. After that, I'm changing the value of the meal to, and we are going to show the show meal and show meal 2. Okay, why we usually do this prototyping? We usually do this prototyping because, so let's say we have a complex object A and we clone it and we make A dash, that is a cloned object. So let's say if we want to tweak something a little bit, okay, and we don't want to make like all, we don't want to do all the efforts of creating that object. That's why we do a cloning, so that we will first of all make a copy, and after that we can make a slight change that I did it in this setring function. But the important point is how we are going to do a cloning, that is meal1.clone. That is the important point. So this is all about the prototype design pattern. So second thing that we are going to study that is very important for the interviews is shallow copy and the deep copy. That I picked this topic also because it is very close to the prototype design pattern, because it is going to use that same clonable interface. So I make this class meal shallow. In this class you will see I'm using one list, using list here. Other than that everything is string, and again I'm using this clonable function and I'm making a new object. I think there is nothing different, but the only thing that changes it that we are using one list. I think other than that we are not changing anything. And when we go to this restaurant class you will see that shallow meal here, I create an object and after that I'll make a clone of it. I think there is no difference in our normal prototyping, also simple prototyping, and in the shallow copy there is no difference. The only difference is that in our shallow copy we are using one list. To understand the example, we don't have to use a list. For making you understand, I'm using one list here. But when you are when you are going to see the code of a deep copy, again there is a deep meal one. Here what I'm going to do, I made one simple object, and after that when I'm going to clone it. So now let's move to this meal deep copy function, and here you will see what I'm doing. I am creating a new object, but before that I am putting everything in the list into one extra list named that extra copy. This is a deep copy. And in the shallow copy, I just make an object. But in the deep copy, what did I do? First of all, I copy all the elements into one list, and after that I again put it into an object. In the deep copy also we are making an object, in the shallow copy also we are making an object, but the only difference is in the deep copy we are putting all the elements into the list. So why we are doing it, it is very important, because shallow copies the object but share the reference of the objects inside it. So I'm again going to repeat it. Shallow copy the object. That is something that we are doing. Shallow copy is copying the object. So let's go to the shallow copy. It is copying the object, but the important point is the reference objects, it is going to be shared. It means if I go to this shallow copy function, if I go to this extra list in the shallow, and when we are going to clone it in the meal shallow one, this shallow one list extra list and this meal shallow 2 extra list is going to be same. I will just run this code and you will be able to understand it very well. So let's go to the shallow copy. Customer orders a meal with extra. Same meal is cloned, shallow copy. Second customer add jalapeno extra. Okay, so second customer added the jalapeno extra into the extras. Now it should not affect the original meal, but here the original meals you will see olives and the jalapeno, and in the extra also olives and the jalapeno. This happens because the olive meal extras list and the extra meals are going to be a reference variable. They both are sharing the same list right now. But when we are going to go into this deep copy, here you will see extra olives and extra olives and jalapeno. It is only going to added into the cloned object. So this is an important concept. When we are going to do a shallow copy, the internal objects are going to be referenced, and when we are going to a deep copy, we make a copy of that list as well, and then we are going to use it. This is a difference. So whenever you are doing a prototyping, so please make sure according to the requirement do the prototyping. You can go with the shallow copy or you can go with the deep copy as well. So thank you for watching me. From the next video we are going to start with our structural design patterns, and thank you for watching me, and bye bye.